Hey guys, today's video is on my CREMATOGASTER SCUTELLARIS colony, cutely named the Valentines ant. With their heart-shaped gasters, they look adorable. As you may remember, I picked this colony last year as my free queen from Antcon, and I think it's fair to say they are doing pretty well. I've been keeping mine at around 25 degrees and likely lower on humidity as they should be, but they will not move out of dry tubes for ages and ages and ages. The workers are probably just under half a centimetre and the queen is maybe just under a centimetre. This colony loves to eat. If I don't feed them frequently enough, they will eat all of the babies. So I feed them at least every 3 days. They are not fussy with food and they will literally eat anything. They have been living in a very simple tub and tube setup for the last 10 months, tucked away on a shelf. So it's time for an upgrade, kinda. As much as I would love to put these in a Saturn, I have to stick to a budget and go homemade this time. I've got tubs and the one on the left will be the nest area, and I just 3D printed a little test tube rack thing to hold the tubes for better viewing, kinda like a Saturn on a budget, and plus it's better than them being on the floor. I drilled holes in the side of the tub so I can connect them with some tubing. I also printed these little white bits to try and discourage the Scutellaris from chewing out. And then in the second tub will be their outworld, where I'll feed them. I messed about with the printer, and after watching the film Labyrinth I decided I wanted stairs. Nothing fancy, but I like it, and for the budget I think it turned out really good. I cut holes in the lids of the tubs for some ventilation, and then I put in 2 fresh test tubes on the rack, and the top 2 spaces will have the current ones they're in placed on top. I also blocked the outworld side for now so that when they move in they'll go in the fresh tubes and not just straight away start exploring the outworld. I then barriered the living daylights out of it and the lids with a talc and rubbing alcohol mix. Now to move in the Scuts. First tube in, second tube in, and they're already working on the corner of where the barrier is. So I've added their heart-shaped feeding dish with some pink sugar snaps to try and distract them. Then I had one more tube to go, and all the loose workers, plus the brood that they had underneath their test tubes. This is how it's looking so far. Then I spotted the queen, who was in the tube when I moved them in, but she must have got spooked with all the moving and is now in this corner. Most of the workers are in the tubes and still happy with all the babies, so the queen should move back soon. They are all still really testing the barrier, which is making me nervous, and also trying to get the cotton out, blocking them from going to the outworld. And below that you can see the workers trying to get the queen back home. There's much more workers in there than I expected. I just wish they wasn't all climbing the walls. I managed to spot them getting the queen home while I was moving the stragglers in. And then I opened the outworld up and I set my phone up for a time lapse, went back a while later and my phone had died. So I was a bit disappointed. So the morning after I added a couple more mealworms to the antimatter's bowl and refilled some of the sugar snaps, and then I added some of the other colours. But they wasn't very hungry, so they didn't really swarm it like they usually would have, but it still looks pretty. Fingers crossed they don't manage to chew out where the tubing goes through. That's the only weak point I can see them being able to get out of, unless obviously I neglect the barrier. Also, I might bring them to Antcon if I don't take my flowers, but I think if I do I'll completely do the outworld different and decorate it more fancy. It also makes me wonder, what will this year's free Antcon colony be? Who knows? Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.